Hey everyone, Jim Graham with RCGroups.com, and today we're going to talk about something that I'm pretty excited about. You know, for years the FPV market's been dominated by quadcopters, but now we're starting to see wing craft come out, which is great for guys who love to fly airplanes. And so Horizon has listened to what people have said out there and brought out the Theory Type W. This is kind of a, I would consider this a smaller wing. It's small though because you have to get through gates and cruise around 90 miles per hour top speed. Pretty impressive. And I thought that we would just look at what comes in the box, and I want to show you how easy it is to hit this thing in the air. So this is the internal packing box, and the first thing we're going to look at is the main pod. This is where all the coolness lives. So this is your main pod. This is what your wings are going to plug into. I'll show you that. We'll talk about why that's a great idea and how it works. And so we'll start at the nose of the plane. This is a 700 TBL camera. 700 is a great mid-range camera for scooting around the field. I also want to say, in the old days, if you wanted to do this, you might order a wing and it probably would come with an ESC and a motor. But this thing has everything. It's all installed, ready to go. All the components are chosen by the fine folks at Horizon, and I know that they know what they're doing. So we have this 700 TBL camera, and then inside the fuse here, we have a 200 milliwatt video transmitter, and they provide you with this nice antenna, which is important. And then we have, this is just as exciting as everything else. It has an AS3X receiver in it. So I'm a big fan of these. I like the stability that this is going to offer me in a wing. A wing like this really gets thrown around by the wind, so you need a stabilizer. And this has that built in. Not only that, but there are a couple of things that you can program into your transmitter. We're going to talk about that too in this video, the transmitter that I would suggest. But this has a launch mode, so it allows you, when you launch a wing, there's a couple of ways to do it. Another feature on this pod is that these appear to be a place that you could throw it like an airplane, but you do have this prop back here trailing. Now, one way to do this is you throw it and power up as it leaves your after it leaves your hand, but other people will do this by throwing it off the wing. And so with the launch mode and the receiver provided, you would have a better experience launching. You won't be throwing this into the ground your first time out. There's also another mode that allows you to fly until you get to 90 degrees, and it won't allow it to go past 90 degrees. And then there's an expert level that will allow you to do whatever you want. All those things are great to have on a wing like this, especially for pilots that are brand new. So that's a lot of goodness in one place. We have a tube hole here for our carbon fiber tube right here. Now, Jason Cole said this was a carbon fiber drinking straw, but we all know that you should never drink out of carbon fiber. So this is actually your wing tube. That's a big tube for such a small plane, I will have to say. And then we also have a plug for your servo, and then we have a lock piece that I'll show you when I slide the wing on, and then we have another just insert that holds everything in alignment. So this is your main piece. Now we're going to go back to our white box here and pull out a wing. So the wing has everything pre-built, and this is a digital metal servo. So I'm not sure how you could do much better than that. All the control horns, everything's already on here. And the only thing you need to do is apply some decals. Now, if I hold it up to the light, I'm fairly certain I am seeing carbon fiber. You can see it in the video right here and right here. So it's reinforced. So this simply slides on to your carbon fiber tube. And then the one thing you need to do before you lock it in is get your servo plugged in. Now, the way I'm determining what goes where is I'm looking at this and I have the wire going in at an angle, and I see that, I have the wire going in at an angle, and I see that the dark, or the ground wire, is on the far side. So I'm going to plug that in just like that. Servo plugs, always so easy. So we get that plugged in right there, and then you could tuck that wire back into the provided hole, and then it just slides on that easy. Up, and you heard the click. So if you look at the bottom, there's actually a locking mechanism right here. So when you want to unlock it, you push that in and you can pop that wing off. This thing's so little, I just don't know when you would do that unless you were putting it in a suitcase. So let's put the other wing on, using the tube to hold it while we verify that yes, I see this is going in with the negative on the back side. So I'm going to plug that in the same way. And I'm going to make sure it's really plugged in well. Because when you're flying, you definitely need these things. Okay, so there's our tube and our locking mechanism and our front notch. And there's also a rear notch back here, a smaller one. So I'm going to simply, as you push it in, you'll see that there's a hole in the wing right here. And so this plug will slide right in there, no problem. See, no problem at all. So I'm going to make sure my wire is going in the slot. And then I will click it together. Not hearing a click. Oh, there's a click. All right. So, hey, you're done. It's over. This unit doesn't come with the LiPo, but you can order one from Horizon. This is a 4S 1300 pack, and this is very quadcopter friendly, so I have a lot of quad packs that are this size, which means hopefully I'll have other packs that I can run in this other than just this one pack. But be sure to order that when you're ordering your unit batteries. And this simply lives here. You have a provided deck and Velcro. And the next question was, hey, what is this for? So we have a top strap that lives above the camera. Before we go into that, let's put the canopy on. So it comes with this primary canopy. So your antenna slides through there. And then you would slide this over your clips. Press down and you're locked up and ready to go. And then always remember to take your camera lens cover off, because I can't tell you how many times I couldn't figure out why I wasn't on the right channel, only to discover that I didn't have my lens cap off yet. So that's kind of the stock configuration. So let's talk about some more. We have totally emptied out the top of this box. So what I want to say to you, I'll put that right there. What I want to say to you is there's stuff under the box. So be sure to flip the box over. The first thing you're going to find are your vinyl decal sets. Now they have a lot of different options here, which is awesome because I saw an option in there that I liked. Let's just take a quick look. I mean, that's what you're here for, right? So me, I'm not so into the blue. The orange is kind of cool. I do love decal sets. I'm all about the decor. Okay, so here's one. Now here's the one I'm into. What? Hey, Horizon, whoever put this in here, give them a raise. I love pinstripes. So I probably will go with red and black pinstripes on this. Save the rest for something else. Super cool. Worth the price of admission. Ah, that's pretty cool too. A nice Digi US Air Force camo type of deal with some tears. It's pretty exciting. Oh, that's pretty cool too. So now we have some red, black, and tears, bullet holes. What does that say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So I guess you could put any number set that you want on there. Awesome. I may be able to utilize some of this with some of these pinstripes. And we'll see that later. Maybe I'll do that and then turn the camera back on and bang, it'll be decorated. Here's a couple of things that I don't want you to miss. So like I said, underneath the box, hidden by the decals, are two things that I didn't realize were in the box. So this is, you're like, hey, what, did I get an extra camera? No, you don't get an extra camera, but this is the box that I guess the camera originally came in. What is in here that you need to be aware of is this board, and this allows you to control the on-screen display in the provided camera in the unit. And the fact that it has on-screen display is pretty awesome. One thing I know that is on there is battery voltage, and so that's usually my primary concern. There's some other things. And we are going to go fly this, and we'll take a DVR and take a look. There's also a secondary camera case. I've got to think that the case that's on the unit now is made to fit this wing, and I guess if you wanted to, you could pull that camera out, put this case on, and it has the little attachments on the side so you could mount that somewhere else. Very nice that they included these. Of course, you had to have the on-screen display. So there's one more thing to talk about. I thought this was an extra canopy. This was located under the box. This is not an extra canopy. If you look, it's got a larger cutout. So this would be for your secondary camera. So when my question earlier was, let's see how easy it is to get this off. What is this Velcro strap for? This is for your Mobius camera. So there's a hard plastic mount right here, and you can mount that right on top, and then you drop your new canopy on, or your secondary canopy on, and bang, man, you're in business. Now you have a Mobius and it looks custom. So now we've looked at everything in the box. The only thing I think I haven't mentioned is a bind unit, and that is it. And so I guess I didn't show you this. You also receive a large manual. So now we have everything put together. I think what I'm going to do now is put some stickers on it, come back, and then I'm going to wait for the weather to get nice, and we'll take this thing out and fly it. Hey everyone, my mic battery died, so I lost my audio from this last portion of the video, but that's okay. I'm doing a VO here from the computer. And so you're looking at kind of a sneak peek. This is the canopy. I put Terry on the front since, you know, he is kind of the eye in the sky. So let's jump over and take a look at my awesome scheme. So this actually, I think blue goes on top and red goes on bottom. That's the intention, or vice versa, for this decal set. But I went ahead and put the red on top, and then I made the blue, and I cut them with scissors. I put the blue in as kind of a three-dimensional underlay of the red, just to kind of really fill out the top of that wing. Now, when you're in the air, you're going to be FPVing, so you're never going to see this stuff anyway, but it's awesome. You have to make it awesome. And I did, as I said, I put the pinstripes on. I gave it a shot, but I didn't really like it. So I'll cut to a photo of that right now. It just didn't fill the wing up to me. They're awesome, but it wasn't enough for this wing. So I pulled those off and went with the new one. I also wanted to promote the Theory W Horizon and Blade on the wing. Once again, there's Terry on the front. I always love to put Terry where I can, you know. Now, for the bottom, I kind of messed up because I didn't leave myself any room for any decals on the bottom. So what would have been really cool would have been a checkerboard type of thing. I went and looked in my shop, and I didn't have anything I could use. So I used some 3M tape. This is really lightweight stuff. I use it on a lot of things and repair things with it. I also borrowed some checkerboard from another decal sheet that came with it for the winglets there. And that's it. So I think it looks killer. So I'm going to step off here, and I believe I'm going to talk to you about what I'm going to use to view with the unit. There are a lot of different ways you can view your FPV feed, and I have used them all, I think. So what I'm going to use for this unit, and this was sent to me by Horizon, these are the Focal V2s. So this is a goggle with 2 monitors, and it's V2, meaning that it's a upgraded version of the Focal units. It has diversity receiver with 2 different antennas. So one antenna picks up one type of signal, and the other will pick up a broader signal. And the V2s theoretically have a better diversity system built in. They also have a battery that has lights that lets you know where the charge is on that battery, which is always something you want to be aware of on a set of goggles like this. It has a fan, which I don't need in the winter, but come summertime I will. It has foam on the inside. This is a way to keep the light out. It's kind of a newer style from the old eye cups that we used originally. So those are the Focals. They're $3.99. They're a good mid-range unit, and one that really works for me personally with my eyes.
Now let's talk about the DX6E. This is really an FPV-based transmitter created by Horizon. It's pretty new on the market. It only costs $149, which is great. It's running off your Spektrum DX menu system. So that means as a DX18, DX9 user, everything in this is the same as what I've had on my other transmitters. So that's great compatibility, nothing to throw me or something to learn. Also, it has a wireless buddy box feature, so I am excited to have that in my arsenal. And it's made for a unit like this. There are FPV specific functions in the DX6E. I have a video about that. You can find that on our RCGroups YouTube channel. So, in conclusion, if you are aspiring to be an FPV racer, or if you simply want an FPV rig. Now, I have people all the time come up to me and say, Jim, I want to fly FPV. What should I get? I always think that you should get something that's simple to fly, easy to put together, not complicated. In the old days, you had to put it all together yourself. Everything you need is in this unit. So the camera, the video transmitter, the good antenna on the Type W, the battery. You have to buy the battery, but the battery is suggested. And then the goggles, they're not included either, but this would be the setup that I would suggest you get. The Fat Sharks, the DX6E, and the Type W. And you don't have to be a racer. You don't have to run these through a course. You don't have to run this through gates. You could actually just take this out to the pasture and fly around and have a great time. And it's a size that you can leave it in the back seat. You don't have to build it. There's nothing to think about. And you can just have a good time flying FPV, which is what it's all about. And trust me, if you haven't done it, you will be addicted. If you're an RC pilot, you will not want to do anything else. It is awesome. So, I guess in conclusion, I will be flying this when the weather turns and we get some kind of weather that allows me to do that. And I really look forward to flying this unit. You know, this was used at the World Nationals, and I can't wait to get it out to the pasture and get some flying going. I'm Jim T. Graham with RC Groups. I hope this has helped in your FPV journey.